me just see very many languages know, and they seem not to align with their coming from. It's very Thomas in equity readers to the National Secretary of the Coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP, as well as ex-IPAC chairman. He's going to be joining us via phone call as we go conversational in this. Has been able to garner in his 2 years in office. We've seen the Abuja, Kaduna, Zaria, Kano dual carriageway, right? Yes, that could be something right there. Niger, Kaduna, and Kano states. And with the 280 billion contract approved, and let's see how that goes. There's also the Sokoto Badagry Highway, a 1,068 kilometer highway linking Nigeria's northern and southern regions, that's spanning Sokoto, Kebbi, Niger, Kwara, Oyo, Ogun, and Lagos, with a rail line in its median to enhance trade and connectivity. There is also the place where we see a 130-kilometer road in Kwara State, constructed under the federal government's road infrastructure tax credit scheme, fully financed by the Bua Group. And that will be the Bode Saadu Kaima Kosobosu, yes, road, that's the one. And Kano Maradi rail project. Part of the ongoing rail project aiming to enhance transportation and economic activities in the region. And then if we will take a peek into the southern parts of the region of the country now, the first thing that comes to your mind will be the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, which is a major road project expected to boost economic growth and improve connectivity between the Edo and Delta states. It's in a phase 1 and spanning 47.7 kilometers with Lagos State. There's the Benin-Asaba Superhighway, a 125-kilometer superhighway designed as a dual carriageway with solar-powered lighting to enhance safety and efficiency, fully financed by Africa Plus partners under a public-private partnership model. And there is also the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, a vital infrastructure project. And this one is divided into 2 phases to enhance connectivity and road infrastructure, with Section 1 built by Julius Berger and Section 2 handled by the RCC, right? And now, in terms of appointments now, Femi Gbajabiamila, of course, Chief of Staff, Dele Alake, Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Olayemi Cardoso, CBN Governor, and a host of others in terms of appointments. Now, to the eastern part of Nigeria, or the eastern region of Nigeria, 9th Mile Otukpo Makodi road. This one is a strategic project which is aimed at reducing travel time and improving connectivity between Enugu, Makodi, Abuja, and northern Nigeria. Right? Enugu Onisha Expressway, a 107-kilometer dual carriageway. This one is being reconstructed under MTN's infrastructure development and refurbishment investment scheme. With the construction, 50 to about 70% complete now as of March of 2025. So we are hoping that before December of 2025, or let's just say November of 2025, we should see the completion of that one. There is the Bodo Bonny Road, 34. This one is aiming to connect Bonny Island to mainland River State with a May 10, 2026 deadline for completion. And of course, the Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway. This project is connecting Enugu, Anambra, Abia, Imo, and Rivers, and it should strengthen regional trade and mobility. It is also very, very poignant to put out there that the debate on regional favoritism and development, it may intensify as the 2027 general elections is approaching. Some politicians like Kwankwaso now, they might exploit ethnic and regional tensions to mobilize support, but Nabina's response suggests that such tactics may not be effective. Well, Nigerians are becoming increasingly aware. Now, this is the part. We are becoming increasingly aware of political maneuvering. And the APC will need to navigate this complex dynamics, especially if they want to promote national unity and development, right, in this regard. There are the key figures in this entire discourse will be the likes of President Tinubu, Senator George Akume, right, and Nabena. They should indeed play important roles in shaping the electoral landscape. They should indeed play important roles in promoting national unity, as many politicians and political observers, they are believing that their actions and decisions will influence the trajectory of Nigeria's development as well as the outcome of the 2027, elections. It does seem as though everything is in the build-up to 2027. But there's a personal story from a Nigerian citizen. It says, I believe the equitable development is crucial for the country's progress. Growing up in a region with limited access to basic infrastructure, social services, I have seen firsthand the impact of neglect on communities. The Tinubu's administration's commitment to development across all regions gives me hope for a brighter future. Now, this is one Nigerian who was saying this, says, be that as it may, regardless of whatever, might be said, might be seen, that there is some developmental strides with the Tinubu-led administration. So it takes us back to the place of what exactly is the type of politics we are playing right now as we look forward to 2027. Is the North putting out a card that should shake up, the political space? Or is the North being sincere when they come out to saying that they've been less represented, they've had less inclusivity, they have not been spotlighted, so to speak? Could this have an undertone gearing up to 2027, even though George Akume has given the stance of the administration saying North should wait for 2031. That is the only time that your thoughts and your gains and your ambition to cling to power will become feasible. But what would be your thoughts in this regard? Do you think that the likes of Babachir Lawan, who has also added his voice with Kwankwaso, calling out this administration, saying that the North has been marginalized, the North has not been giving the reflection that they need, the North has not been paid attention to, is right, is it in line, is it okay, and all of that? Well, I'll just hand down the numbers to you right there. I'd like to really know what you think, because historically Nigeria's history is marked by regional tensions most of the time, debates over resource allocation. Could that be the reason for all this brouhaha? Well, the country's federal system has been designed to promote unity. It has been designed to promote cooperation among its diverse regions. However, though, these types of allegation that border around regional favoritism, it has persisted over time, and it is still persisting with us right now, with various administrations facing criticisms for perceived biases. Right. So what lessons have we learned so far from Nigeria's past experiences with regional development? How can the current administration apply these lessons to promote equitable development? The Tinubu administration's economic reforms is aimed at creating a robust, diversified, resilient economy. However, many critics are arguing that these reforms may exacerbate regional disparities. If not implemented carefully, then we'll be having regional disparities. Social cohesion is very important. It's very critical to Nigeria's stability and progress. However, the efforts of this administration to promote development across all of the regions, if not indeed fact-checked, if not indeed spread across equitably, we may be indeed we will not be addressing issues that border around social tensions and promoting national unity. But I give you the numbers already now: 0907 353 0044. That's the number to call. Let's go take this call. Hello, good morning to you though. Hello. All right.
Hello?
Yeah, good morning to you.
Mr. Daniel.
Yes, please. Good morning.
Buhari ruled Nigeria. Most of the funds were given to the North. Nobody say anything. Want to make sure that they control real Nigeria for Nigeria to be end. It can't be possible. We are wise now. Let me tell you one thing. Good luck that rule Nigeria for only 4 years. Nobody say no in their time. And they're manipulated. How to tell the government to not. Nobody say anything. Appointment was given during Buhari. Nobody say anything. And my brother, if Nigeria should be have a region, let's give a region. Everybody should be on the own is better. Thank you and God bless.
All right, thank you so much. Right there, and he's calling for, is it from Nasarawa State there? Well, are you in agreement with that? Because there's quite a number of conversations, surrounding this. Babachir Lawal is dismissing Tinubu's government's claim, saying no visible project whatsoever in northern Nigeria. We'll just hear from you. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Edu is my name. I'm calling from Abuja.
Edu, welcome aboard. Talk to us.
Okay, thank you. I heard you when you were reading out the use of roads.
Yes. Yes.
I didn't hear you mention Abuja Lokoja Bini Road. I didn't hear you mention Bini Warri Road. I didn't find the Minister of Works travel and he wept. Say, is he one Nigerians are passing through 2 years ago? He wept. Since that time, now that he has dried up his tears and nothing has done, no action. They have abandoned the place. People are dying. You can't travel from here to Bini from Abuja to Bini on that road. You can't travel from Bini to Warri. That Bini to Warri takes, when it was okay, when PDP was working on it takes 45 minutes. But not anything.
I get that.
This is a country, for God's sake.
Well, that's Edu now. Thank you, Edu, for that one. I appreciate your thoughts. Edu saying, well, it does seem as though the southern part or the eastern part have been totally forgotten, even with the roads that have been that are supposed to be fixed, but they're not fixed for one reason or the other that we do not know. And yet the North is saying that there's not been any visible infrastructural development within the region. Well, hi, Chief Peter. Welcome aboard. Good morning. Can you hear me? Are you there?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, can hear you now. Well, hi, Chief.
I can hear you.
It's going to be a very straight-to-the-point discourse. I'd like you to give your submission, in all of this. The northern region is through the light of Babachir Lawal have come out, and the HCF have come out to saying that, hey, you know what, Mr. Tinubu, Mr. President, your administration has totally abandoned us. We have been neglected. We've been marginalized. And yet the NGF, Northern Governors Forum, saying that, oh, thank you, Mr. President, you are the best. We endorse you for 2027. And even former Ekiti State Governor Fayose is also saying, oh, Mr. President, you're doing well. Well done. We endorse you for 2027. What do you make of this, especially in conversations where the Eastern region has over time get it over with already?
I really don't like discussing regionalism and tribalistic tendencies within our governance structure.
Right.
But the fact remains that this is the reality of what President Tinubu have come to play in his government for the past 2 years. He has decided that concentration and investment in his zone would better, give him opportunity to hold his people together. And that is not politics. That is not governance. Because you can't use politics to triumph over governance. Because the abandonment of other necessary infrastructure, facelift, because there's no any monumental infrastructure project going on anywhere, whether it's in the north central, whether it's in the northeast, whether it's in the northwest, none that they can point to. Whatever they're trying to do today is what Buhari was almost 80%, 70% completed in the north. And if you go to the southeast, in fact, I sympathize with the Southeasterners because when we formed this country, there are three major languages, there are three major tribes, but one has been relegated completely in the act of managing the affairs of this country. So we cannot understand why politics and public resources that is meant for public good, that's supposed to be used for the benefit of every Nigerian, wherever you find yourself, will now become a discussion that everybody is obviously noticing that the president is using it for political reasons. and political subjugation. This discussion in our governance in this period when we are in 2025 is an abysmal something to behold. We cannot and we should not allow such to happen in our government, and that's why we need to really have a National Assembly that can checkmate the activity of the president. Because you continue to borrow a lot of money without tying them to specific projects, without prioritizing the, and if these monies are meant to just for recurrent expenditure, it is bad that when Nigeria will borrow to service debt and borrow to to pay salaries. So we must have our fiscal financial planning plan very well so that it can benefit the general people of the country. For the North, I think I support most of the people who are spoken. I'm from the North myself. I've moved around and I've been traveling. I was in just the other time, I was in Makodi. Apart from the road that Buhari has constructed or Jonathan started, from a way to road and completed. Where is the project that Tinubu is doing? Where are the projects? They should bring out the list. There's no project anywhere.
So in other words,
that this concentration is not in the southwest.
So I Chief,
I don't want to discuss with
Chief,
the president has gotten it wrong.
Chief, you're saying that you're agreeing. You made it clear that you're agreeing with the likes of Kwankwaso, Babachir Lawal, and all of that. And you're saying that more development has been done within the Southwest. Is that what you're saying?
Like I said in my opening, I don't like discussing region, tribal. I was born in the Southwest. I grew up there. I speak Yoruba very well. But that is what the president is doing. That's what the president is doing, is marginalizing other communities, other regions, to be able to look to our favoritism in government is what our constitution. Do not go and say that people can have power and then use it to micromanage the country in a way that does not benefit everybody. So there's a challenge, and the only way we can get this right is when we have people like more Ningis in the National Assembly that can confront this unnecessary exclusion and concentration of resources in one zone. That is not governance. Even most people say that, Eco Atlantic is a private project and this coastal highway is meant to benefit the Atlantic. These are issues that should have been brought before the National Assembly, and the National Assembly would have proceeded on impeachment process immediately. Because we can't have a democracy that there's no check and balance, that government will use public resources to favor one group over the other, when Nigerians are of equal status. So we have a challenge. So when you see people complaining, I want them to complain on the fact that we are all Nigerians, and that resources meant for Nigerians should be well distributed. But coming to say it's north and south, it's really painful that Tinubu has created such vision within our polity. It's painful because Obasanjo was here. We never saw such thing. We saw that there was even development and even distribution of resources for the benefit of all. That is what governance should be. But that's why we're in federation.
Can I put it to you too, High Chief, that all this while, I'm glad you mentioned that, past administration have seemingly been favorable in terms of development, for regions and all of that. But we have also seen that during the Jonathan administration, we saw more development in the north. Why does it seem as though Nigerians are beginning to think that this is a political cry foul, in the sense that now it's not benefiting you, Eastern region, who over time have been singing marginalization, and it doesn't seem like anything is happening? Could this not also now be a taste of what y'all have been doing back in the day when your principals, persons from your place, were in power? How much development were they making in other regions? Nigerians are asking
I have told you that I do not want to talk about region.
All right.
Because if you want to talk about region,
right,
the most marginalized region in this country, there are two places: is the southeast and the north central. They are the two marginalized regions. Most marginalized. And the fact nobody can argue this, nobody can dispute this. So, but even during I complained during the Buhari regime that it was concentrated too much in the north. You understand? And if that is the style of the APC, that every president they produce must concentrate in their own region.
Right.
It is a bad style.
Okay.
Because I told you in my discussion here,
Yeah.
I said that we must have a system that government is built for the people, for the Nigerian people, wherever you come from. There should be even distribution of our resources. There should be equality and equitable distribution. Because equality is different from equitable. Because when you marginalize any side, any part of this country, you draw the whole entire country back. We're running a federal system. And in the federal system, there's more than one layer of government. So we must be able to find every avenue to have a government that will not be micro thinking in their sense of judgment, that will be broad in their investment of public resources in the country, that will have an understanding that every Nigerian has opportunity to benefit from good road, from infrastructure that will uplift life with whatever region you find yourself. But I think it has become a style for the APC. Buhari did the same thing. I won't tell lies on national radio. Tinubu is doing the same thing now. So it is a pattern. I don't know whether I will read their manifesto to know whether it's embedded in the manifesto of the APC. Because it is becoming an embarrassment. For we will have a community like the Southeast today that is not remembered in anything. Yes, because we must wake up and run a system that welcomes all, a system that calls all, that makes every Nigeria calls Nigeria home, because Nigeria is home to all of us. So we cannot continue in this direction. We cannot continue to progress in error and then accept that it has become a norm. It should not be acceptable, and it should be condemned when it happens to the Southeasterners, when it happens to the Middle Belters, the North Central people, when it happens to the Northeast people, when it happens to the Southwest people. It should be condemned.
So what do you think?
That is my own idea.
I
think in a nationalistic way, I can't become a regional thinker. But what I'm saying is that Tinubu must spread this development and this investment across Nigeria.
That was where I was coming from, because I was going to ask about the place of social cohesion, national unity, which Nigerian leaders most of the time have always talked about. How will this affect, social cohesion, national unity, especially in light of putting us together, bringing us together, and helping us to think as one towards a better country, in the coming days? What do you think the president must do in this light?
There are issues. One, the president must try as much as possible to stop the level of bigotry that is going on today. To stop the fact that he wants people to see him as the Yoruba president, as the Southwest president, or as the Lagos president. He must stop it. He must stop it. It's not for his own legacy. He must build towards an egalitarian society, even if he cannot attain it, to be able to establish a model that will be able to see that all Nigerians are equal before the law, all Nigerians are equal before government investment, all Nigerians can have access to quality education. There will be infrastructural development across the board. If you are doing development, you must do it well. And we must stop the idea of tokenism, in the sense that government that cannot, bring high level infrastructure, but would rather prefer to share 5,000 naira that is laced in corruption, that is laced with ineffectiveness, and it is not sufficient enough to take people out of poverty. So we must be able to have a system that is encompassing enough to accommodate the downtrodden across Nigeria, wherever they find themselves, whether it's Karam or Namoda, whether it's in Kogi, whether it's in Oshun, whether it's in Enugu, or whether it's in Akwa Ibom. So these are critical interests that the government must start to concentrate. And government must also deviate from this short-term approach infrastructure arrangement. If we want to have a private water scheme across Nigeria, we can have a 30-year plan. Government is a continuum. Because Nigerian government, the reason why they fail most is because they want a situation where they can just build road and commission it, just like you see somebody said they was building 750 kilometers of coastal highway. But we commission 30, just less than 30 kilometers of that same road. So it is the fact that people are looking for to glorify themselves for doing nothing. That's why we're not progressing. That's why you can't find major infrastructure projects that will be able to stand the test of time. So we must head in the people. It is Nigeria that will use the pipeline. It is Nigeria that will use the pipeline water. It's the Nigerians that will attend the schools. So government will not need so much money to invest in propaganda machine, because Nigeria will be their main center of campaign. Nigerians will speak out and say we benefited this from government. Government is working and government is progressing. But when government is not working, it is when government now have to now shift their attention to more resource investment in propaganda, in singing messages on television and radio station, or what government have done. So if government is working, government will see results, people will see results, and people will acknowledge the effect and positive development that government have brought to bear on the lives of the masses.
Well,
so the problem we have is that the real essence of government, which is meant to provide welfare for the people. So this is the challenge that we have, is more investing more in how to sustain themselves in power, and how to make sure that those on the street sustain themselves in power, and how to make sure that those on the street are no longer hungry. Then that's where the gap is. That's where the lacuna exists, and that's where the lacuna exists, and that's where the